Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Okay, so now I'm going to start adding color with watercolor. And I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm basically just filling in some of the shapes with light coats of watercolor and using different colors. So I'll start with a green, then I'll add a blue on top. Maybe I'll fill in one spot, but not the whole section with one color. Some I'll add a little bit more water than others. So when I add another color, it blends in more. I try to do something different throughout the whole piece. So, I'll start like at the bottom leaves, I started and I added some green and blue. And then what was left over on my brush, I just went up to some of the vines or the stems to use the rest of the paint. So I go around the whole painting. I don't stay in one area and work on it. I go around the whole painting and use what's on my brush. And this way, I'm getting a nice mix of colors on each, piece. Like, for instance, a leaf isn't just green. It's different shades of green. It's blue. It can have purple in it. It can have yellow in it. So that's how I start filling in these types of drawings. I do different tones, as you see here, or should I say values. So I start at the bottom of the tulip and make it darker, and then make it lighter towards the top. Later on, in another video, I will probably be going over it again and adding more darkness to the bottom, just to give it dimension and depth. So that's how I go about starting this. Now, after I fill in all the pieces here with watercolor, I may choose to add some acrylic or gouache on top, or ink, something to darken the darks and maybe lighten the lights. In other words, I may have a lighter pink for that tulip that would look better on the top of it. So I try to do contrasting shades of colors and values throughout the whole piece. On some of it, I add a little bit more water. It's all something you will learn as you practice it. Try a small piece and then do what I'm saying and see how it feels to you. The next time, alter it a little bit. If you didn't like something, do it a little different on your next piece. But always pay attention to the opposites, like I say in all my other videos. You want lights and darks, some darker than dark, some lighter than light, because that all adds to the depth and the way you're going to see each shape. For instance, some leaves may be much darker than others. Some may have blue in them. Some may have a hint of purple. Some may be more yellow. So I start with basic colors in leaves like green or blue. And same with the flowers, like the one I'm painting right now. I'm doing orange, but I may change that on my next layer. Overall, this piece will have probably 3 or 4 layers, maybe more, depending. As I see how it progresses, I, add different kind of supplies. Okay, so now here I'm using gouache. I just wanted that punch of that dark matte color right there. So that's why I use the gouache instead of the watercolor. I feel like I get a really good outcome by mixing different supplies. And yes, there are times when I just use ink and watercolor. There are times. But for this piece, I feel like I want to have some matte color with some watercolor, some dark line with some light line. So basically that's how I fill it in. Think of it like almost a coloring book, but you're going to fill it in different than if you were just coloring. Okay, see you in the next video.